Dad and Mom got into an accident.
On a Sunday afternoon, while I was bringing in the laundry, Matthew stuck his head out the window in a panic.
What?
I hurriedly tossed the laundry into the living room. Apparently, a car had crashed into them while they were out shopping. Matthew and I quickly got into the car and headed for the hospital. My name is Samantha. I'm a 48-year-old stay-at-home mom. I quit my job when I married Matthew, a man who frequently relocates for work, and I've been focused on raising our child, Michael, ever since. But now, Michael is in college, and Matthew's work has finally stabilized, allowing us to move back to our hometown. Just when I thought about looking for a job again, Matthew's parents got into this accident. Andrew broke his leg, and Stella needed stitches in her arm, but thankfully their lives were not in danger. However, they would need care for some time. If things don't go well, we might be looking at long-term care. Then, Matthew casually said to me,
"You'll take care of them, right?"
"Me?
Who else? You're the only one who has the time.
Oh, so homemakers have free time, huh?" I'm increasingly finding Matthew's condescending attitude irritating. I even suggested hiring professional services, but he dismissed it, claiming it would be a waste of money. I've never provided elderly care before and honestly didn't want to, but we owe a lot to Andrew and Stella, so I decided to give it a try. Well, it's not like I had a choice in the matter. The in-laws' house is a 10-minute walk from ours. They don't need us to move in or anything, so I plan to visit during the day. In the morning, I prepare breakfast, wake up Matthew and Michael, and send them off. Then it's time for cleaning and laundry. Once that's done, I head to my in-laws' house to do their laundry. Clean, shop, prepare meals, and assist with their rehab exercises. By the time all this is over, it's already evening. I return home, bring in the laundry, and prepare dinner. And if there's any issue at night, I'll head over to my in-laws' house. That's how life has been going on. The cycle continues, even on Saturdays and Sundays. All this time, Matthew is just lounging around at home. On a certain Sunday, I decided enough was enough and woke him up. "Hey, how about you visit your parents once in a while?"
Huh? Why? Isn't that your job?
"What do you mean, your job? They're your parents."
You've done nothing useful our whole marriage, so you might as well make yourself useful for once.
What kind of way is that to talk? I wonder when he'll get tired of looking down on me. I never wanted to be a homemaker in the first place. When we got married, I was told that if I didn't move for his job, it would affect his promotions. Then, when we had kids, I was told to focus on raising them. And yet, here I am, still a homemaker. Frustrated, I headed to my in-laws' house alone.
"Samantha, thank you for coming again today."
As I arrived, Stella greeted me. She's holding laundry. "Whoa, Stella! You shouldn't be doing that." As I hurried to stop her, Stella looked sad.
"You can't rely on me forever, Samantha. It must be hard for you too."
Then, from another room, Andrew called me over. Unusually, he's sitting in the living room chair.
"Samantha, have some of this."
On the table was the gourmet pastry we'd seen on TV recently. "Andrew, this is..."
"Remember we watched it together? I don't know what young people like, so I ordered what we saw on TV."
Stella popped her head in from behind.
"Andrew made such a fuss because he didn't know how to order online. It was quite the ordeal."
They both burst into laughter. For some reason, that made me really happy and tears started to flow. I wonder how the son of these two wonderful people turned out the way he did. Thinking back, Matthew used to be kind too. During my anxious days of pregnancy, Matthew would bring me jelly, thinking it would be easy on my stomach. Or when I was worn out from parenting, he'd sometimes bring me a cake as a little treat. But over time, he started looking down on me. This began about 10 years ago. One day, Matthew came home from work in an unusually bad mood. Apparently, he made a mistake at work, got demoted, and found out his new boss was a woman. Ever since, he seemed to develop a disdain for women, saying things like,
"This is why women can't be taken seriously."
I considered divorce, but then I wondered what would happen to our children, Andrew and Stella. So I ruled out divorce for the time being. I came home in the evening to find Matthew and our son Michael lounging around in the living room. "I'm home." No one replied to greet me back. Instead, Matthew, lying on the couch, bluntly said, "What's for dinner?" Michael, who was playing a video game, chimed in, "I want chicken. I'm hungry, so hurry up." "Chicken sounds good. Maybe I'll have a beer too." They both seemed excited, but I still had to bring it in and fold the laundry before even starting on dinner. I couldn't afford to cater to the whims of two grown men. "It would be nice if you guys could at least help bring in the laundry," I murmured, ignoring their dinner talk. Matthew glared at me. "Excuse me? Isn't that your job?" "Well, how about you take turns caring for your own parents sometimes? You're a homemaker. That's your job. Period." My emotions skipped sadness and turned into anger, but Matthew just looked down at me and laughed. "Being a homemaker is just like being a moocher. Why don't you try being useful?" Michael joined in on his ridicule. "Moocher, huh? Dad, you're so right." They both laughed at me, and that's when I lost it. "Moocher? You two are the real moochers here." "What are you talking about?" Matthew and Michael both laughed, continuing to belittle me. "Who do you think is doing all the cleaning, laundry, and cooking around here? It's for you all, isn't it?" When I said that, Matthew responded with a laugh. "We'd be fine, actually." "Exactly. We can just wing it when it comes to cleaning, and for meals, we can just buy something." Michael joined in, mocking me. Fuming, I stormed out of the house. I had nowhere to go. I should have brought some clothes. It's too late for regrets now. Wait, I remember leaving some clothes at my in-laws. I used to change into them when I was caregiving, so I decided to go pick them up. When I arrived, Stella and my mother-in-law looked surprised. "Samantha, what brings you here at this hour?" "I'm sorry. I forgot some stuff here." She let me in and seemed to understand when she saw me grabbing my clothes. I didn't want to badmouth her son, so I avoided talking about Matthew. But Stella sensed something was wrong, so I told her everything. "How could you keep quiet about this?" She was livid after hearing my side of the story. She said that something could have been done sooner if I had spoken up. Matthew never acted condescending when he was at his parents', and he hadn't even been coming with me recently. Andrew and Stella probably had no idea I was treated like this. They told me I could stay with them for a while, so I agreed. Matthew and Michael never reached out, even after I left. The next morning, while I was helping with chores at my in-laws, Andrew and Stella thanked me. It dawned on me that I never heard a thank you from Matthew or Michael. Then, my phone rang. It was Matthew. When I picked up the phone, he suddenly cursed at me. "Where are you? You made me late. It's your job to wake me up. And there's no lunch. What's the plan?" Those words made something inside me snap. I was a fool to think that if I was gone, they might appreciate me a little more. "Excuse me? You can't wake up without someone else's help? That's my job? That's laughable. If it's a job, then I'd like to get paid. Waking you up was a favor, you get it? You never said thanks for lunch or said it was good, yet you expect me to make it? No lunch? So what? Figure it out yourself." I snapped back, and the line went dead. Feeling a bit relieved, I get something off my chest that I've been holding in for a while. When I walk back into the living room, Andrew and Stella greet me with applause, apparently having overheard the phone conversation. When I share with them that I might be getting divorced, Andrew lowers his head. "Don't worry about us, Samantha. Do what you think is best. I'm sorry for my foolish son." Taking their words to heart, I ask if I could stay here for a while as I look for a job, and they graciously agree. A few days later, I call Matthew and tell him I want to talk, asking him to come over to my in-laws' house. He laughs, questioning why I'm there, but at this point, I couldn't care less. The weekend comes, and Matthew shows up. His first words are, "What are you doing? Causing trouble for Mom and Dad." Stella looks ready to scold Matthew, but I stop her. I have no intention of going back home. Hearing this, Matthew takes divorce papers out of his bag and lays them on the table.
Well, let's get divorced then. I've already filled out my part.
Ignoring his smug grin, I pick up the papers. Matthew's section is already filled out. Smiling, I grab a pen and start filling in my part. Suddenly, Matthew's face goes pale and he starts to panic.
Hey, what are you doing?
What do you mean? We're getting divorced, right? That's what I thought.
Wait, hold on. What's going on?
We're getting divorced, aren't we?
No, this is a joke.
He tries to grab the pen out of my hand, but my elbow reflexively jabs into his stomach and he doubles over in pain. I take the opportunity to complete the divorce papers. I'll submit this tomorrow then.
Whoa, wait a minute, Samantha.
Matthew, still wincing from the pain, struggles to speak.
That's not what I meant. I never planned on...
A collective sigh escapes from the three of us, excluding Matthew. Stella, looking exasperated, finally speaks. Then why did you even bring the divorce papers?
So you're saying...
I spoke up for Matthew, who seemed lost for words. You thought if you hinted at divorce, I'd just fall in line? Like women can't survive on their own and you're doing me a favor by supporting me? You have no intention of divorcing, you just want me back home doing housework, right? Matthew just stared at me, unable to say a word. Are you influenced by the internet or something? You and your son both seem to have a knack for disrespecting women. What's the point? You only dare say such things online or to me, right? If you really believed it, you'd tell your female boss too. She's more competent than you, and that's why she's your boss. It has nothing to do with gender. It's about your ability. That's why you got demoted, don't you get it? You're just insecure, and you take it out on women. All he does is complain every single day. He enjoys visiting websites that demean women, but it's all because he lacks confidence and needs someone to look down upon. Don't criticize others when you can't even get up in the morning without someone waking you up. I can survive just fine without you. In fact, I'll have fewer chores and no one to complain or look down on me. I'm filing this divorce paper tomorrow. I put the divorce papers in my bag. A defeated Matthew shouted in frustration.
What are you gonna do without a job?
Too bad for you. I have plenty of qualifications. I've already secured a job in accounting. I'll be fine. Matthew is surprised and hastily brought up the subject of taking care of his parents.
What about Dad and Mom? You're going to abandon them?
Andrew scolded him for his attitude, but I stopped him. Don't worry, I'll come help. Stella chimed in with a smile.
Thanks to Samantha, we're nearly self-sufficient. And when she does come, we've agreed to pay her an hourly rate.
Don't worry about Andrew and Stella. Take good care of them so you don't lose that connection. Andrew gave Stella a knowing look.
Samantha, this is for you.
Stella handed me a bundle of $100 bills. What is this?
Consider it compensation for all you've done for us.
Matthew looked surprised, but I took it without hesitation. Then I turned to Matthew and said, If you two want housework done, why don't you hire a housekeeper? Matthew just kneeled there, unable to get up. The next day, I filed the divorce papers. Matthew and Michael are now fighting over housework. I've started a new job and I'm enjoying my single life. I've finally been able to say everything I've always wanted to say, and it feels good.